The third quarter, I think we're about 7 goals up. South Adelaide started to peg them back. Remember, of course, that South Adelaide had won the premiership in 1964. Port Adelaide were minor premiers in 1965. Neil Curley was captain-coach of South Adelaide. Peter Mead turned himself into a legend at the end of this game. You'll see that in about 10 minutes' time. Commentators for the game were Blair Schwartz, Bob Jarvis, and a very high-voiced Ian Day. Daisy about 20 years ago. His voice has matured a little bit. Let's have a look at some of the action. It really is great action.
Put South into attack with a drop kick. Got under it a bit, looking for Lester Ross, and he's found him. Yes, Motley pushed it out of his hands, but Lester Ross has taken the mark on the half-forward line, and there's only 2 kicks the difference with 8 minutes to go.
And Mick Rivers is coming off, and Peter Judd is coming on.
Yes, Mick Rivers, he had a touch of cramp, I think. Blair noticed him early. A kick from Lester Ross, up to the teeth of goal. Roberts in there, he can't mark it. Comes down off hands, White breaks his way clear, shoots a goal, it's a goal, and there's 1 kick the difference. What a magnificent game this is, and that's White's third goal for the game, and Port Adelaide now leading 15-10 to South's 14-10, and one's mind must go back to last year where South were leading comfortably here in the second semi-final, looked to have it all to the world one, and Ports came up and won. There's Alan White, who's just kicked his 3rd goal, and listen to the crowd roar as there's 1 straight kick the difference.
Cantiller coming on the ball, Judd going to full forward. There's the bounce, Cantiller in there, gets the knock, gets the ball, falls to the ground with it, handballs away to Curley. Curley puts South right into attack, looking for Peter Judd. Judd almost pulled it down, couldn't do so. Fabian breaks it away, back to the centre of the ground. South players there. However, it's the Port player that comes through and races away with it. Mead it was. And it goes right up there, comes down off hands to Dick Jackson. Jackson's kick over here looking for Whitford. Players kick right over that ball. Whitford leads in the race for it, can't pick it up. Does so now. Is Grab pulled off the ball. Too high. Oh, he's very lucky. Very lucky opening so.
Short pass.
Bob Fabian comes through now. Handballs quickly to Johnny Cale. Cale 14 on your screen. There goes Cale's kick right up here. Bob Schmidt couldn't pull it down. Dick Jackson there. Handballs to Whitford. Whitford goes for a 1, and it goes to Alfie Skuse. Skuse turns, bolts onto Howlett. Howlett runs straight into trouble. Once again, this short passing. Here again, Pascoe racing in there. Handballs quickly. Plunges comes through. Can't do anything with it. Motley comes through, runs into Curley. Right across here now, Bob Schmidt comes through. Here goes Schmidt, short pass. Right to Lester Ross. Right to Lester Ross.
A free has been given by umpire Cunningham to a Port player just as Al Skuse was going towards the goal. Crowd not very happy about it, but that's the way it is. You can see coming up to 6 minutes left in this game, and Bob Fabian taking a free kick from the back pocket. The score, Port 100 points, leading South 94. Here it comes out. Mal Whitford, a beautiful mark. I was just thinking, what will South say if they lose? Will they say, Mal Whitford, you shouldn't have done that short pass? But there was a good bit of play by Whitford, and it comes to 21, Lester Ross, the man who kicks round corners. And look at the crowd go mad. Lester Ross, as I said, the man who kicked round corners. There he is. He certainly kicked round corners then. And Lester Ross has kicked 3 goals. And let's come to the point, shall we? The score's a level.
I think I must tell the people listening at home, if they hear some shouting, it's Ian Day. He's just about lost his voice. Cantiller in there gets a mighty knock. Goes straight to Jeffrey Potter for Port Adelaide. Potter being a wonderful player today. Dick Jackson sets himself, pulls one down. Dick Jackson going back now. He's been a rock of Gibraltar in defence for South Adelaide today. There goes his kick right across looking for Curley. He's found him. Curley, I think, was going to play on. He was looking for that lead. He wisely stood his ground, just put his arms in the air. There he is now. What a great player he's been too. Here's Curley's kick right across the centre of the ground, looking for big Brian Roberts. Play it on, says the umpire. Jeff Potter clears it away once again. Back the centre of the ground it goes, and it comes down off hands. Both boys out there. What a long way out he is at the moment. There's his left foot kick. Stewart couldn't pick it up. Bit of interference there. Mead. Handballs quickly on. Right up here to the forward lines. And Durbridge is thrown to the ground. Couldn't pull it down. They're battling for it at the moment. The umpire's got to come in and bounce this one.
Yes, this is magnificent. And umpire Cunningham will bounce the ball with 4.5 minutes to go. Barely 15 yards out in front of the Port goal. Scores a level. Cantiller in ruck with Philp, down it comes. Disappears, comes out again. Butcher, listen to that crowd roar. Comes out to centre half forward, and Beaufoy brings down a very timely one-handed mark, and Beaufoy is on the half forward left position. His kick, not a bad drop kick, comes up the crowd. Big men fly, and someone's taken a mark by the look of this. No, he's taken it away, and from Big Steve Traynor. No, he hasn't. He's given it to him, of course, and the mark will be taken by Steve Traynor. 45 to 50 yards out. He certainly got the distance. He certainly got the direction. And once again, with this magnificent Port comeback, Port go to a 6-point lead. Steve Traynor has kicked his 4th goal. And as I said, the scores: Port 106, leading South 100.
It's fantastic. Droppies. What about the flick pass? That was fantastic. Curly's elbows. It's all happening. I can't wait. Actually, my money's on Port Adelaide. I think I'll back them. But we'll see the finale to that game right after the break. Just before we go back to the, excuse me, South Port in black and white, what we'll do now is go to the second semi-final, Port Adelaide against South Adelaide. Just listen for some of the great comments of Ian Day. There's some quite extraordinary things he used to say.
Showing their tremendous fighting courage, and I've recovered sufficiently enough to broadcast again as they are one kick the difference in a magnificent game. Roberts and Philp. Roberts gets the tap down to Skuse. Skuse onto his left foot, but he's kicked it out on the wing. There's only 3 minutes to go, and Souths want to go directly home if they've got a chance to kick this one goal that's needed. What a tremendous game. Players very tired, but throwing their very last ounce into it for their clubs. Roberts gets the tap down over to Whitford. Whitford overruns it. Smith comes in. He's caught. Gets his left foot onto the ball across to the centre of the ground. Gill's in there. Fisted over to Plungers. Plungers gets it. Gets onto his left foot. Up towards Phil Howlett. Phil Howlett pushes it in front of him. Potter breaks his way through. He's holding the ball. Play on, says umpire Cunningham. He was holding the ball almost as Plungers breaks clear again. Up towards Fabian. Fabian lies on the ball. White comes in. He's still got a chance. Over toward Whitford. Whitford's clear if he can do it. Gets it onto his right foot, up to the teether goal. Cantella's in there, comes down off hands, back over the chance, gets his left foot to the boot, ball, oh, it's gone over the line, and I can't breathe hardly. And there's, who's that down on the ground?
That's Pascoe.
And that's a point to South Adelaide. That's still one kick the difference, and a chance there thrown away by South.
Yes, it was Pascoe who kicked the behind, Ian. The score going to 106 Port, 101 South, with 2.5 minutes left to play in this magnificent second semi-final, reminiscent of last year's second semi-final, in which Ian, of course, played, in which Port won by a single point. There's the kick-off from Ellaway, comes out, massive players, 3 Port Adelaide players in opposition to Roberts. It is 5. Ashley Mackay for Port Adelaide came on as a reserve a few minutes ago when Trevor Obbs came on and pretty obviously must be having a run on the ball in his place. Kicks it out of bounds. Ball will be thrown in. There's Big Roberts, who's played a magnificent game for South Adelaide. Curley is in a supporting role there at the back. There it is, Bob Philp down to Alf Skuse. Skuse looks for the goals. He's gone in the general direction. And David Cantilla, as he's playing it on, comes out to White. White sends it on down to Pascoe. Pascoe trying to steady himself, and he'd be a hero. And he's done it. Pascoe has kicked a goal for South Adelaide, and South Adelaide hits the front. South Adelaide is 1 point clear. South Adelaide 107 points, Port Adelaide 106. The hero, if South win, will be Pascoe. Pascoe started at centre for South Adelaide, was sent out onto the half-forward flank, and has now kicked the goal that has put South 1 point ahead with about a minute and a half to go.
Roberts in there, Philp in there too. Roberts gets the tap down. Curley in there, Plungers turns, gets his kick. And there's been a free. It's going South Adelaide's way.
Hayes is coming on. Neville
Hayes is coming on. I don't see who's come off. Oh, it's Salmon has just come off down at the scoreboard end. Plungers to take this free for South Adelaide. They lead by a point. There goes his kick right down. There's a massive players there. But Brian Roberts has pulled it down. Cantilla flew. Brian Roberts flew. What a wonderful game of football, no matter which way this game goes now. What a fantastic game this has been. Port Adelaide and South Adelaide out there giving their absolute hearts for their clubs. Here's Roberts. It's a shocking kick. but there's a lot of South Adelaide players down there, including Cantilla. Backman there too. However, it's Lester Ross once again on his left foot. Goes to his counterpart, 21 for Port Adelaide, Jeffrey Potter. Potter's kick going right out the centre of the wing. Dennis Eyre couldn't pull it down. South Adelaide right into it, Port Adelaide into it also. There's less than a minute to play. Bob Jervis.
Yes, a minute to play. South Adelaide 1 point ahead after Markview being 17 points down at three-quarter time. There's Big Roberts. Philp for Port Adelaide is 13. Roberts goes up, gets the knock too. Down to Neville Hayes has just come on instead of Salmon. But a very clearing, a very timely mark has been taken by Stewart, even though he ran into Beaufoy as he took the mark. There's Beaufoy, the other man in that quite innocent bit of by-play. I don't think Beaufoy fouled him or anything. The important thing is that Stewart has been given the mark and will take his kick almost exactly on the centre wing position on the outer side of the ground. There goes the clock ticking away. Let's watch Stewart's kick. It's a punt. Comes in. Howlett flies. Almost brings it down. Comes down to Jeff Potter. Potter's kick is marked by Mead. Mead sets sail. It is Neil Curley. Who else? Who holds them up. The ball is marked by Elix on the other end of the cricket pitch. His kick is a high one. Comes into centre-half forward of absolute massive players. As Mead breaks clear, is tackled by Schmidt. Comes down. And a free kick has been given
3 seconds
to
to go.
Port Adelaide with 3 seconds to go.
Well, they're either going to win it by 5 points or it's going out of bounds. There's 1 point the difference, 107 to South, 106 to Port Adelaide. And here's the player, Mead, to take his kick. He's 55 to 60 yards out. I don't think he can get the distance. He got a goal. He's got a goal and they've won it. Port Adelaide have won this game. That went through. Port Adelaide have won by 5 points. What a fantastic finish to this game. Yes, from the result of that free, Mead got his kick. There were players everywhere.
Good game.
Actually.